Ho, ho, ho! I'm Santa Chief, and I bring tidings of teabags and headshots. Try to rush, and I'll take your team's strategy and send it down with a flush. If you get the sniper, a headshot's a must. No scope to the dome makes me feel like I'll bust.
Alright, Sergeant, simmer down. Let's do this.
Alright. Welcome back to episode 7 of Delta Halo. Cat, MattyIce, the fellas are back again. I'm your host, Sergeant, and we're back to talk about Cartographer's Gift. It just came out today as we record this. We got a little bit of time in, but before we dive into that, what have you guys been up to this week?
Hanging out, working. I'm in school finals, so that's pretty much been my life for the past couple of days. But, fitting some gaming time in, starting to play some games, do it on, stream some on Twitch a little bit here or there, and trying to put some videos together. So, that's about it for me. Excited for the new DLC. See how that goes.
What have you been playing?
Yeah, we played some Halo. I played some FIFA the other day. I streamed that for a while. I had actually a pretty cool actual Twitch conversation with people and stuff like that while playing FIFA, so that was kind of fun. I didn't really expect it. I was just streaming to stream, and all of a sudden there's people in my thing talking. It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty sweet when you get some feedback or get people talking about what you're playing. Usually, at least from my perspective, all I've gotten are people passively watching. They just kind of appear and then disappear.
Yeah, maxing out at 7 viewers.
Yeah, so it's cool that you got some people to actually comment on your stream.
That was fun.
Kat, what about you?
I've been working pretty much all week. I did get some gaming in since Destiny reset on Tuesday. I had to get my hard raids in, and then I got to play a little bit. Then I got to play a little bit of Halo today with Sergeant and MattyIce here. We just got some Halo in. That's pretty much all I've been doing. Oh, I had to work on my house a little bit. Sergeant, what have you been doing?
I've been making Christmas presents, bringing holiday cheer to my family this week. As you can tell from the opening, I'm pumped about Christmas, and I want everybody to know it. But no, really, I've just been working a lot. I've been trying to do the handcrafted Christmas thing this year, trying to save a little dough. Everything I spent trying to get this podcast and some streaming up and running, I wanted to save a little cash this year, but I've been able to make some really cool pieces out of wood for my family, so I think they'll hopefully like that. That handcrafted thing, when you get older, the time that you got to sacrifice to make that stuff, hopefully that counts. It counts for something.
No, it's pretty
Dude,
legit.
I would totally take handmade furniture.
Well,
Makes it
I don't know if I'm making furniture this time, but
whatever you got. Get some good wood in there, you'll be good to go.
I
Awesome.
always start with good wood. Every project, you got to get the good wood.
I've been spending some money trying to get my stuff going, computer parts and stuff like that. So pretty much, SBU, Merc, and Holdy 2240 are just not getting presents this year. So I hope they're ready for that.
It's crazy sometimes the amount that you got to spend to get stuff going like this, especially when you got to get programs to edit your content, and it's nuts.
I had to go out and buy
fun,
a new computer. My computer sucked.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's cool. It's cool to start making it. It's worth it. I mean, just to shout out to the Halo subreddit, we got our post up there the other day, and we got some really good feedback. We're working on getting all of our podcast episodes up on YouTube. Our last episode 6, has had an overwhelming response so far. I think we're up to 80 views on that, which is the most for any of our episodes so far. So shout out to those guys for checking it out. And that's kind of the validation and motivation that really pumps you up and makes what we all spent worth it and makes you feel good and makes us keep going. So if you guys want to check out our videos up on YouTube at Espawn Gaming, please do leave us comments. Like I said, it gets us motivated to do more stuff for you. So let's jump into Cartographer's Gift. It's out today. The weirdest thing about this, I'll have to say, and I don't really understand 343's method behind the madness, but it's like they don't define a date that they're going to release these DLCs. I don't know if it's like they want to surprise us or they just don't know when they're going to release it. But I feel like that's been a really frustrating thing so far.
I kind of like it. I don't know when it's going to come, and then when it gets here, I'm just really excited that it's here. And like today, I didn't even know that it was really. I mean, yesterday I didn't really know that it was even out until I got a text from you guys. So I was just like something I wasn't looking forward to that I could play later on. It was awesome.
I mean, it's kind of cool, but also at the same time, you can't plan ahead. You know, like if you wanted to do something else, you could, potentially do it the day before, so you can get some gaming time in afterwards. I know that's probably it's not unique to us, but we're not everyone's in our cases where we're working and doing other stuff as well. So we do have a little bit of a time crunch. It does make it a little frustrating, just a little not really convenient to us, but no, super exciting though.
It's like you just got to think about people that are making their streaming schedules, if that's a thing, for the people that stream all the time. It's just, you got to be able to understand what you're going to be playing, let your audience know what to expect. And when it's kind of pops up like this, I don't know if it's less than ideal, but it's just different, I guess. I guess they're going about it in their own way, and that's cool. Like, as long as we get the DLC and it works, I'm totally fine with it. And this worked well. So what's your first reactions? What'd you think of the maps? I mean, we didn't get into many of them, but MattyIce, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean, we got into a little bit to see kind of what they were offering. It was pretty cool. I thought that I wasn't really expecting that much, especially since they were Forge maps. I kind of expected them to be remakes and stuff like that. Although it seems like they've taken the general map concepts and either made them different or added some things here or there. I really like the idea of making oh god, I can't think of the name. Somebody help me out.
Overgrown.
Holy crap! I keep thinking Ivory Tower because of cat. Anyways, so yeah, taking the idea of Overgrown and just the way the map is made now, I think it's going to change completely the way that you looked at it before. I mean, it's so much more closed in, and it's really I think it'll be kind of cool. Faster paced, I think, and it kind of looks like it's going to be a big circle and just running around looking for power weapons and high ground and stuff. So I'm very excited for that one as far as arena goes. The big team battle ones, we'll see how it plays out. But originally, my initial thoughts are I'm not too excited about what they're throwing out there so far. How about you, Kat? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I had to go. I just want to talk about Entombed. What a letdown. Not anything like I thought it was going to be like. I thought it was going to stay true to Burial Mounds. I mean, they got the ribs that are in a place that makes no sense for the actual Burial Mounds map. I just really wish they would have stayed true to this map. It has nothing to do with it. You're really taking a map from old hardcore Halo fans from Halo 2, and you just butchered it.
I don't know. I don't know if I go so far as to say butchered it. They really went the same way with all their other big. They followed the same mold as all the other big team maps and shrunk it down. Like I feel like the main aspects of that map are there. The ribs are there. The boobs are not really there. The bases.
The boobs are a couple hard nipples.
Right. They're not purple, and it's a little disappointing, but if they just were able to stretch it out, push everything back, push the ribs back, expand them. I mean, the great thing about Burial Mounds is it felt like you were out in this desolate desert map. This feels so enclosed and fake. You're not immersed at all. It feels like a training sequence that they put together.
I just want to say that as far as that goes, I think the only thing that's even noticeable with that is the ribs. Like, yeah, and that's it for me. Like, I didn't look at anything else and be like, oh yeah, I mean that's that and that's that. I mean, obviously we haven't played Burial Mounds, and I mean I think we played like a couple games of it on Anniversary Series when they finally released it. But I mean that was at that point we've been pretty much done with that game. But I mean it's been forever since we played it, but I didn't recognize anything else. I wasn't running around like, oh yeah, this is a spot. This is this part, So I'm not exactly sure what the feel will be in it. We'll see, I guess. Maybe it'll be awesome, and maybe it'll play great. We don't know that, but
when they take maps from Halo 2, I completely remember them. I feel like I've visited these maps in real life.
We played them so much that
Yeah,
that game we played so much that each of those maps has such strong memories tied to them.
I don't have to have played it yesterday to remember burial mounds.
The hardest thing, I think the hardest thing about this whole idea of creating maps from Halo 2 or maps that are like have such strong memories tied to them is that there's so much nostalgia and nothing can ever measure up to what your memories of the thing are.
Yeah,
it could have been burial mounds, but colored blue, like it's on a different planet.
Well, I think about burial mounds. Think about playing burial mounds with the weapons you have in a regular Slayer game in Halo 5. Does that necessarily? Burial mounds was we like burial mounds the most for snipers. I did, at least. That was my favorite thing, was playing team snipers on burial mound.
Give me a Warthog.
That was awesome. Yeah,
they could have used the They could have used the ground more for cover, like raising the ground up and down instead of just adding buildings and walls and stairs and stuff. They could have just used the environment a little bit more. That's what burial mounds was. It was just a large environment.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
That's what they've severely lacked so far in these maps, and it's kind of like the issue with Forge so far. I really hope that some people will get their hands on it and do exactly what you're saying and use the environment as cover instead of creating all these Forge-looking walls and bases in areas that don't make sense. Like, put a hill in, like a simple hill. The one map that sticks out in my mind from Halo 3, I really didn't like it. I can't remember the name of it. It's like an enclosed arena type map outdoors that has the tunnel systems that go underneath and has that one big hill in the middle. Gosh, I really can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Blood Gulch?
Wow.
No, not Blood Gulch. It's a smaller size map. It's a 4v4. Oh,
Total
gosh,
mind
I
blank
can't
on
remember
that.
it.
Just explain it to me. Describe it to me.
You start on
it has
opposite
the
sides.
mound with the sniper on top,
And you could take like lifts from each side and land in trees. I remember that. There was a sniper that spawned top middle. I think the bubble shield was spawned on that map.
And it was the thing where like it was dirt and then it went into grass. So it was a dirt thing that had like two walkways up on the bottom of it, up into this, and then there was tunnels underneath it and rockets under there.
Yeah, from the left. Yeah.
I don't remember.
A ghost as well. We gotta look this bad boy up and see what we got for it. Hold on 1 second.
But yeah, so back to that. That map used the environment so well with creating that hill, putting in trees, like just breaking up sight lines with natural environment rather than having to feel the need to put in buildings and things like that. And that's what I loved about that.
Isolation.
Yeah. So I like the layout of the map. I can't really say that I loved playing it because I don't know, that map was interesting. But I really liked it. I like the tunnel systems underneath. Like, it's just that thinking. They mixed it up, and I mean, I hope to see more things like that.
Jeez, I almost forgot about that map.
Is that a feature in the Forge? And I don't know if we know.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
We haven't really had a chance to watch anyone do it yet or anything. I don't think in the past Halos, that was really an option with the Forge. I think it was more of a place and go thing. So I'm hoping that they'll have those features. That'd be kind of cool. If they did, to raise the terrain and stuff. So
yeah, it would almost have to be like placing those big terrain pieces over top of the base canvas and then creating your own tunnels. I don't know, but I hope they can create something.
I don't know. We have a lot of time now for people to build some stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We haven't had a chance to get in Forge yet. I know that's the biggest thing that got released with this DLC, and we literally got to play for 2 hours, something like that. So we really haven't had a chance to get into Forge and create any mongoose jumps yet. But we know that people are out there with their Twitch streams showing off building stuff like that. So I'm sure cool stuff is going to be coming.
Also, we played for 2 hours and didn't even get a single new map.
That was pretty annoying.
We had to go check them out in custom games just to play them.
Yeah, you would think they would favor those in the rotation, at least for a day.
All right, so what do you guys think as far as your final initial thoughts on this? Is it where you expected it to be? Is it underwhelming? A little bit more than you expected? Right about the par for what you expect? What do you think?
First off, what makes this already awesome is they have a holiday doubles playlist. Like, I hope this is like foreshadowing that they're bringing it back permanently, because we probably got 4 games in, and it was so much fun. I love playing doubles. That playlist needs to be permanent. Aside from that, we haven't gotten a chance to play the maps actually in a game, so I'll withhold judgment until we get to that point. But doubles is in, and I love that.
I agree.
Yeah,
the new playlist is awesome. Having the holiday doubles, that's where it's at.
It sounded like Sergeant's back was hurting a little bit from what I heard when they were playing together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god,
just a little bit. That's what it sounded like.
You gotta be kidding me.
I have my games. I have my moments where I.
Are you texting him while we're playing, saying that you're just carrying the team?
I was in your chat.
I didn't see any of that.
Well, I recorded it, so luckily we can go back and review the tape.
Right. The proof is in the pudding.
We'll review the tape.
What's your overall impression so far, MattyIce?
Yeah, I think I'm right around where I was expecting it to be. I wouldn't think I was expecting this. After we talked about this previously. Wasn't expecting this big, awesome free DLC of maps. Little variation maybe. Hopefully they'll add some cool quirks into the different game modes with this and stuff. Like I said, reserving judgment a little bit. So I think I'm right around par from what I am. I'm not blown away, and I didn't really expect to be. So I'm content. I'm happy that there's new stuff coming out.
I'm let down with the new maps, though. I mean, I was so excited for burial mounds. We haven't seen the Warzone map. That's still something that we can check out, but just burial mounds being such a letdown bummed me out.
For sure. I totally get that. I share the same feeling, but like you said, with the Battle of Noctis, we haven't played it yet. The video makes it look so much fun. I can't wait to jump in there and get it. Who knows how long that'll take with how little chance we had of getting the other maps, playing for a few hours. But I mean, it's kind of like raid on ep.7. That's my favorite map so far, and I rarely get it. I get Stormbreak all the time. So hopefully Battle of Noctis gets a little bit of weighted, favoritism in the rotation to start, because it looks great. I love the cityscape.
Yeah, we're going to have to find some time to get into that. We have a lot of stuff that we have to accomplish, though, with the new season, our ranks being reset.
How do you feel about that? I kind of like it. I'm also kind of like, dang it, I worked hard for my ranks. I don't have to want to play 10 ranking matches again.
I know, I lost 2 Onyx levels.
I think I was talking about it yesterday. I was like, oh man, I'm almost, I think I'm big team, because we all started off fairly rough in big team. I had climbed to almost getting diamond, and then it was like, oh, well, you're reset now. Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
I'm glad. Did you guys see that if you have to do all your ranks within Season 1, at the end of the season, you'll get an emblem?
Is it per playlist, or do you have to do them all?
See, I feel like you have to be ranked in each. That's what I got from it. It's only one emblem, you know what I mean? Or it could just be from doing one, but I'm thinking you have to do all of them.
I'm not happy about that, Cat. Why do you think that is?
Because you don't want to do Breakout.
I do not want to do Breakout.
It's the best game mode.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to find out.
Pounds.
I do love Breakout. We don't play it enough. I really enjoy that.
Wow.
MattyIce
Let's not get carried away over there.
The other cool thing that they changed that I totally flew under the radar for me was they reduced the number of players in free-for-all from 8 to 6, so it's not so much chaos anymore.
You're not going to be shot in the back every time you move, which is literally what free-for-all was. Like, I got Onyx in it, and it was just, you didn't go for the weapons, you just turned and you would shoot someone in the back. It was great, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that.
And that's it for the news, but weekly intel, we have a really exciting topic for this week. MattyIce was doing a little bit of brainstorming. He's pumped for something awesome that's coming out on Friday, so I will let him take it away.
Well, I think you might have spoiled that for everybody, but yeah, obviously Friday, Star Wars is coming out. I'm going to guess that pretty much anyone who listens to this is pretty excited for Star Wars. Just Star Wars in general, and these new movies look awesome. The initial rumors or murmurings, I guess you could call them, because I'm trying not to be spoiled at all. So I'm really not looking in depth at all, but it seems positive and awesome. I'm super pumped for it. So I just want to talk about a little bit about, Star Wars and how, just groundbreaking this franchise was for nerd culture and sci-fi culture and, space culture and all this. I mean, just incredible things came from Star Wars, decades ago. Just crazy how long it was that this movie came out, and so much has come from this. And when you think about it, in a lot of ways, it brought all that stuff that I just talked about, all that different, culture stuff and, being kind of a nerd in a way and, liking this kind of thing, that brought it to the forefront of the media, of popular culture. It became a thing. Sci-fi became a cool thing to do, and, I think the rest is history. I'm not sure, if Star Wars doesn't come out, if George Lucas doesn't do his thing, that, Halo ever becomes a thing. Or becomes nearly as popular as it was. Maybe someone might have thrown out a sci-fi space shooter, and does it become as popular as Halo? I mean, probably not. I mean, obviously that's, who knows, but because it's not what happened. But I mean, I think, something like Halo owes, quite a bit of, gratitude towards, the culture Star Wars created. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, a lot of the success for Halo, I gotta think, just the whole idea that you didn't have to live in your parents' basement, you didn't have to be this closet nerd anymore. I think it becoming so popular.
Are you saying that Star Wars fans live in their basement?
No,
No,
that's the point. That's the point.
That's what it sounded like.
No, that's the point. Star Wars, there was always that stigma, that stereotype about nerds, that they lived in their parents' basement, read comics, had posters of Star Wars on the wall. It's not like that. It's become so mainstream, and I mean the cult-like following that Halo has now. It's crazy, and I think absolutely I don't know if Halo would be as popular as it is if it wasn't for something like that to really break ground on that genre.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can definitely give props to Star Wars for creating the space sci-fi universe. I mean, they created the fan base that, like MattyIce said, brought their fans right to Halo.
I mean, that's what really started me into, those types of movies and books, and from there, you're just looking for something fun to play. I mean, there's Doom and Marathon that were previous, predecessors for Halo, but I was never into those games. That just wasn't, whether the timing was wrong or I don't know what it was, but I was never into that. And then Halo comes out after games like GoldenEye that are really kind of establishing that whole first person shooter thing, Perfect Dark. But Halo pops onto the screen, and it's whatever it is about it, it's so sticky. The universe, the tie to the sci-fi and space genre, everything about it really kind of harkens back to what Star Wars kind of started and built, and then they just they took it from there.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars definitely created the movie world environment for those types of shows, whereas Halo also created a lot for its own genre in gaming, almost up to this, I feel as though up to the same kind of impact that Star Wars had on their genre. Well, same genre, but their...
Well, yeah, they did it in their own way. They changed up the FPS game. So up until then, it was kind of like split screen. That's what you did. It was, screen peeking on your brother or your best friend who was all in the room. And that's what first-person shooters were. And that was tons of fun. Like, no one can say that they didn't have great times playing GoldenEye. That was awesome. That's where so much started, right?
Until you then try to go back and play GoldenEye, say,
oh, yeah.
21 years later when someone's graduating college and we're all hanging out together and trying to play GoldenEye and getting really pissed off because we're screen peeking at each other and the controls are inverted, and I was miserable when that was happening. And
yeah, but looking back on it, it was yeah, there were things that were not great about it. But my God, at the time, that was the greatest thing ever.
Oh, it was absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah,
Halo drastically changed my whole way I gamed. I mean, before it was like, yeah, on your consoles, a lot of them were just solo games like Mario Brothers and stuff like that that I played. I mean, I never really had the N64 phase like you guys had, which was pretty good. Like local multiplayer party games. And then Halo, when Halo came out, it changed it from me playing these single player games to just that's all I want to do is fight other people online. It changed everything, but completely the way I game.
Yeah, that whole matchmaking that you just mentioned, like being able to play other people online. You can sit in your couch and have that same experience of playing somebody else, but that person's on the other side of the country. Like that's
can't screen peek.
Like what the hell like happened? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean it was, I mean Halo was the groundbreaker for that. It was groundbreaking. Halo 2 was groundbreaking for online multiplayer. It was crazy how when you look back at it now, I mean, we were old enough at that time when it was coming around and when the transition was happening. It went from that non-existing at all. I think maybe you look at Unreal Tournament on PC as something that was an online multiplayer, but that was very much different than a console game online with matchmaking. That was unheard of, and that's paved the way for what we have now as far as online gaming goes. It really did. Online first-person shooter gaming.
Yeah, and I was too young for the computer stuff because computers were really expensive. My parents were going to buy me a gaming computer, whereas consoles were a lot easily accessible, and so that's why games like Unreal Tournament and stuff weren't my beginning phase because it was just mainly consoles for me.
And I don't think it was a lot of people's phase. It was a pretty, it was a pretty popular game, but it wasn't widespread like you see nowadays with first-person shooters and online games. And, where that may have been like the initial, like, pickaxe in the ground to break it, as far as Unreal Tournament goes. I mean, Halo really broke it open for the genre. I mean, I think really set things up to where they are now, which is awesome. I mean, we were there for it, so.
Yeah, I mean, it created a cult following, just as the same that Star Wars created with their fans.
The only example that you need from us about the cult following, and we're 100% a part of that. We're making this podcast for God's sakes, but we did the Flugtag, like the Red Bull Flugtag. We created the Halo 2 Ghost Bike. If any of you listening watch that at all or watch the forums on Bungie.net back in the day, we were the kids that had the sketchy drawing and went and built this ghost bike and flew it off a ramp in Nashville.
Flew is a strong word, by the way.
We dropped.
Shout out to the Flood for getting us there.
The Flood, yeah.
Flood Forum.
Yep, the Flood Gamer Junkie Gym. But yeah, that was like, what would have spawned us, like made us think to do that, like if it wasn't for this game. Like there's a million other things that we could have done and built, but this game spoke to us in such a way that, as you mentioned, Star Wars did to the generation that was growing up with that.
And for you listeners who are wondering what this Halo 2 Ghost Bike is, go to YouTube and search Halo 2 Ghost Bike. It's a Red Bull video. I think there's like 800,000 views or something.
You'll see our ugly mugs.
I mean, you got to think, we did take this flying craft from New York to Nashville in the back of a pickup truck when we were 18 and nobody had any money. So from what we created out of that when we did, it was pretty awesome. You go through the comments, I think we were called gay or hit the boost button. I think that's pretty much
full like every YouTube comment.
Yeah, who cares? That was awesome. I had so much fun, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, it was awesome. I don't care.
I think that Halo. I mean, give a shout out to Bungie first of all for creating this IP out of pretty much nowhere. Halo 1 kind of started it off with the cool story, the cool shooting, The whole sci-fi space thing going on with the aliens and the flood and stuff like that. And then they kind of threw in the multiplayer a little bit there with Halo 1. And then when Halo 2 came out, they kept the story going. They had people hooked. And then they threw this multiplayer at it. And that, with more people getting connected online, was the perfect storm. It was perfect. And it led to this awesome community and this awesome, cult following that we have. And it was just freaking cool to look back at it and think about it this way,
It was a total perfect storm with the timing of Xbox Live being launched in that same generation. Like, nothing would have been possible without that. And the fact that finally there was, DSL, cable internet. That's part of the reason I never got into PC gaming is because I was always on dial-up. I wasn't about to play anything on dial-up. and even when cable and DSL came out, like, I never even had access to that. So,
right.
Computers weren't, it just wasn't possible to do it, and it didn't make sense to try and hook it up. So the only time we were able to really do online gaming was when we all gathered at somebody's house, or Cat's parents' bakery, or just taking a special trip. And it's just, that's everything that came together at the perfect time, and for Halo to really kind of blow up.
And something just came to my mind when you were saying that. How about the fact how much money have we spent and have, millions of people spent on Xbox and Xbox products because of Halo? I had N64, I had PS2. I did not have an Xbox until Halo came around and we started playing Halo. And then I made sure that I had an Xbox, to get Halo 2. And then I made sure I had an Xbox 360. And then I made sure I had an Xbox One. So that's 3 console generations that I've pretty much got because of Halo. And I think there's a lot of people that have done that. That's crazy to think about, something as huge as Xbox.
Yeah, that's insane. You got to think about,
right?
You think about it from that standpoint. You think about all the other merchandise. So especially now, this generation, you have all the themed controllers. There's apparel, which, who knows about that, but they're coming out with the 3D printed figures, the 3D printed Spartan. They're just adding on all this different merchandise that people are eating up. And maybe that's not to the same degree as really selling consoles, which obviously is a huge part of the revenue. But it's crazy that I'm the same way. The only reason I came to Xbox was because of Halo, and I will never go to PlayStation because of Halo. Not that PlayStation's a bad console or anything like that. They have great games too, but this IP has me hooked, and I don't want to ever leave it. Master Chief, his story, everything about the universe has me so hooked in.
Yeah, and it hooked us from the beginning too. Got us all together.
Yeah,
we're Xbox people in a lot of ways because Halo brought us and our friends together, and
it still brings us together.
I don't think we're really spreading away from that anytime soon. So,
speaking about how much money that Halo and stuff brought to the gaming universe, how much do you think Star Wars is going to bring in its first day?
I don't even want to think about it. I read they had like a $200 million budget, and they had to make in the billions in order for it to be a success. Not on the first day, I'm sure overall, but God, they're going to have to break records. That has to.
Did you know that George Lucas?
Record.
Did you know that George Lucas only got paid like, I don't know, something little, like $100,000 to make Star Wars, like the first episode, and his only thing was that he wanted the merchandise rights for it.
Right.
And that just blew up to billions or something. Millions.
The best business move
probably
ever,
billions.
by the way. Oh, it's definitely billions. Oh my God, yeah.
What a good decision by that guy.
Yeah, and I think Star Wars has I saw they set the record for pre-sale tickets. I think it was, I thought I saw 100 million, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I know I saw they set the record for pre-sale.
That's crazy. That's crazy. There's people lining up at the beginning of this week at the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles for a movie they already had tickets to. Like, what? I get it's the experience, but maybe the night before, like a
they
week?
already have tickets.
What? Like, what are you doing?
I did sit outside of a Best Buy in sleet/snow for 6 hours to get an Xbox One.
Yeah, that's so 6 hours.
Really that's an Xbox One that you're not even guaranteed to get.
I know, just saying.
We've done it. We've done it. Like, we've all done it for a Halo game. Like, we've gone to midnight releases, but it's not a week in advance. Like, what on earth?
Oh, man. I remember when I went to go pre-order my Xbox One at GameStop, I got there, and they sold out of the first round of pre-orders, but I didn't know there was going to be any more rounds. I was meeting my girlfriend for a concert that was like 35 minutes away. I got the bad news that I couldn't pre-order my console. I just called her, and I just gave up on everything and just went home. Didn't even meet her at the concert. I was so depressed.
You ended up somehow getting a pre-order for it, though.
Did you walk in and get it? Like not sit in line at all?
No, I called them like every 4 days or something, asking if they were getting them in, and then finally they got one in, and I just went and bought it.
And that's, I mean, that right there is what hardcore fans will go the lengths we will go to. Like, we were brought into the Xbox brand by this amazing IP that is Halo, and we never left. And we've gone on to other games, and now we're so hooked on the Xbox brand that we will do that to get the console, even though Halo wasn't available at launch. Like, it was like a year, 2 years. What is it? I don't even know. Like 2 years after launch. Like, that's I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Because you know Halo's coming to Xbox.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. And that's like this following that it created. That's amazing.
And it's funny that I originally bought an Xbox for Morrowind.
Oh my God, yeah.
What a great game, by the way.
Going back to
throw it out there.
I couldn't play that on the computer. I had to buy a console because computers were too expensive.
Yeah, I had it for my computer actually, and it worked, but it like lagged so much that it just like my computer couldn't keep up, like frame rate dropping and things like that. That's crazy. I totally forgot about that.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, I can't wait for this movie to come out. Don't think I'll see it this weekend, but next week. I've accidentally been texting you guys that I'm going to see it next week like 5 times. So
I think your unconscious wants you to.
I just want to go see it with you guys
to New York and come see it with us. So.
I think that's what it is.
It's a Freudian slip, if you will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that'll all right. So that wraps it up. I mean, that was. Just, I'm so glad that you brought up that topic idea. It makes so much sense, the parallels that we were able to draw between the two. It's so cool, and I can't wait to see how Star Wars kind of brings it to the next generation for the younger guys out there, younger kids that are just getting into it. It'll be really cool to see how they pick it up. All right, we're going to take a little break here because that was riveting, and I'm exhausted. We'll be right back. Hey, Sergeant here. Thanks a lot for listening to this episode of Delta Halo. If you like what you're hearing, hit subscribe on this podcast. Stay up to date with every episode that comes out. And if you're looking for other ways to stay in touch with us, you can follow us on Twitter at PartTimeElite or follow me directly at SGTxBobcat. I'd love to hear your feedback and, have a conversation with you guys. Answer any questions you may have. And if you want to see what we've got on our YouTube channel, you can find us at Espawn Gaming. We've got tons of videos up there, from our podcast to some Halo jumping clips, and we have a ton of stuff planned for there, so definitely check that out. And if you missed any of this info, it will be in the show notes of the episode. Thanks for listening. Ho, 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 welcome back. It's Santa Chief again. Cat, MattyIce, what are you hoping to get this year?
Well, Santa Chief, I'm hoping to get an Xbox Elite controller. Seen a lot of stuff about it, changing up your buttons and everything. I'm pretty excited about that. Seeing how that might be able to improve my game a little bit.
Oh, you wish.
It's funny because it's true.
MattyIce, what do you want,
Chief?
I don't even think the Elite controller is in my future. First of all, because I don't think any of us are going to get that because apparently they're not stocking them. So good luck with that, boys. But I'm hoping for Elgato, to get some Xbox stuff out there. I should have my new fancy computer running, and all I need is a capture device to get my awesome, fantastic Halo playing up. And hopefully that'll be after Christmas when I get my Elgato device. So I'm pretty excited about that. And what about you, Santa Chief?
Well, I hope the Mrs. Santa Chief gets me some pajamas, slippers. I really need to kick back this vacation. But no, really, I'm hoping to get the Elite controller. I don't know if there's any inventory anywhere, but that's what I'm hoping for. Take my game to the next level. Headshots left and right. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And maybe get some hardcore gaming in over the break leading up to New Year's. Hopefully we can get some games in. What are your stream or video schedules looking like for the next week through the end of the year?
I'm gonna get a video of the Hardcore Oryx challenge in. I'll most likely be streaming it as long as I can have my my other TV here, because I need like 3 different televisions in order to stream and record all at the same time. So if I can get that in time, I'll stream and I'll record. If not, I'll just get a video of the Hardcore Oryx challenge if I can do it. We tried it today. It was really hard.
No, that'll be awesome to see. A little bit outside of Halo, but that'll be awesome.
Well, sticking true to Bungie, I guess. It's one way to look at it. But yeah, I have a couple of sniper videos coming out. I've been kind of editing some stuff, putting it together from when we had shoddy snipes and snipers and just some random sniper shots thrown in there as well. So look for those on YouTube. And also, I will be streaming pretty much whenever I can. Holidays are kind of crazy with family around and stuff like that. But, I will definitely be excited to stream. I'll be on whenever I can, playing Halo, playing, a variety of different Xbox and some PC games as well. Look for me to give a shout out on Twitter. My handle is MattyIce 17. You can follow me. Just check out whenever I'll give a shout out before I hop on and I'll be playing. So look for that, and I'll be happy to get some streams in.
Awesome. I mean, there's so much content coming out. It's so great to hear what you guys have coming up. We've just released Cat's weekend playlist video from Arena Breakout. We put up his qualifying match, or his ranking match. So that video's out on our channel, Espawn Gaming, right now. So go ahead, check that out. All of our podcast episodes are up there. We're in the process of getting the few that we missed uploaded. As MattyIce said, those sniper videos are on the way, and I'm working on something from tonight with the Cartographer's gift video or DLC coming out. It'll be either Big Team Battle, Warzone, maybe doubles. Something will be coming out from that. So a lot of things to be coming up. So stay tuned to Espawn Gaming on YouTube. And
and we got a special guest here, folks. With us today is one Sean, a.k.a. SBU Merc. What's going on, SBU Merc?
Oh, what's happening, guys?
We got a caller on line 1.
We figured I'd give him a shout out, get him in the stream a little bit here.
Ask him what he wants from Santa Chief this year.
Sergeant Bobcat wants to know what you want from Santa Chief this year.
From what?
Santa Chief.
Santa Chief? Snipers permanently.
Snipers permanently. Oh, that's what we're looking for right there.
Tall order, but I'll see what I can do.
It's a man after my own heart. So maybe 343 will come through that for you. Thanks for stopping by, Shawners, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good later, guys.
Later, bud.
Oh yeah, SVU Merc,
classic. He sounded
classic.
Pumped.
Yeah, that wraps up this episode.
I'm coming out to New York next week, or I guess by the time this releases, I'll be in New York. So hopefully I can see both of you guys while I'm out there.
We will. Some shenanigans will ensue, I'm pretty sure. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll get some beers.
Oh, so Sergeant comes in town, and now you're ready to get beers? I ask you all the time, and you just blow me off left and right, but Sergeant's in town, and let's get some beers.
You're not in Ellicottville getting
Let's get some beers. All right. Woo!
Well, when I can do Santa Chief voice, you make time
true.
to hang out with someone like that.
I agree.
It's the catalyst. It's the defactor. It really gives it that oomph.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 7, Case Closed.
Happy holidays and happy gaming.
Ho, ho, ho.
Right. Happy holidays, everybody.